Alberta's Indigenous legacy, resilience, resistance, and cultural survival. Journey back thousands of years to explore the incredible history of Alberta's Indigenous peoples, a story of resilience, cultural brilliance, and profound influence on the region. The Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Kainai, Blood, and Piikani, stood at the heart of this legacy, wielding power across vast territories in the prairie regions of present-day Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Montana. Alongside other Indigenous nations such as the Cree, Nakota, Stoney, Dean, and Métis, they developed sophisticated societies, flourishing long before European settlers arrived. The Blackfoot Confederacy was renowned for its unparalleled expertise in the prairie ecosystem. Bison hunting was central to their survival, with innovative methods like the use of buffalo jumps, natural cliffs where herds were driven to their deaths, providing food, clothing, tools, and shelter. The Confederacy also established intricate trading networks that connected Indigenous nations across North America, exchanging goods like pemmican, furs, and crafted tools. These trade systems became even more vital as European fur traders arrived in the 18th century, seeking alliances with Indigenous groups to fuel the booming fur economy. The arrival of the Hudson's Bay Company and the Northwest Company introduced both opportunity and hardship. While Indigenous peoples became integral to the fur trade, acting as trappers, guides, and middlemen, the introduction of European goods disrupted traditional economies. Even more devastating were the diseases like smallpox and measles that settlers unwittingly brought with them, causing massive population declines. Entire communities were decimated, altering the balance of power among Indigenous nations and leaving many struggling to maintain their traditional ways of life. Conflict became inevitable as settlers pushed further west. The Battle of Belly River in 1870, one of the last major intertribal conflicts in North America, was a dramatic confrontation between the Blackfoot Confederacy and the Cree. This battle, fought near present-day Lethbridge, Alberta, marked the end of an era, as Indigenous nations increasingly faced external threats from European expansion and internal struggles exacerbated by disease and diminishing resources. The signing of Treaty 7 in 1877 was a watershed moment in Alberta's history. Pressured by declining bison populations, starvation, and the encroachment of settlers, the Blackfoot Confederacy, along with the Nakota and Sioux-Tina nations, ceded vast tracts of their traditional lands to the Canadian government. In exchange, they were promised reserves, rations, and other resources to support their communities. However, the promises of the treaty were often ignored or inadequately fulfilled, leading to widespread suffering and loss of autonomy. Amid these challenges, resistance emerged. During the Northwest Rebellion of 1885, led by Métis leader Louis Riel, Indigenous and Métis peoples joined forces to push back against Canadian government policies. While the rebellion was ultimately quashed, it underscored the growing frustrations and injustices faced by Indigenous communities in Alberta and beyond. The numbers tell a stark story. By the late 19th century, Alberta's Indigenous population had plummeted due to disease, displacement, and the collapse of the bison herds. Yet, despite these hardships, their resilience shone through. Today, Alberta is home to over 258,000 Indigenous people, representing 6.5% of the province's population. Initiatives like the revitalization of the Blackfoot language, annual powwows, and the continued celebration of Métis culture keep their traditions alive. Indigenous influence extends beyond culture. Their stewardship of the land, deep spiritual practices, and knowledge systems offer valuable lessons for modern society. Alberta's 48 First Nations and numerous Métis settlements stand as living testaments to the enduring strength of these communities, whose history continues to shape the province's identity. This video delves into Alberta's Indigenous past, revealing the triumphs and tragedies that define their legacy. From the power of the Blackfoot Confederacy to the battles, treaties, and cultural survival, we honor their profound contributions and their enduring fight for recognition and justice. Don't miss this powerful tribute to Alberta's Indigenous peoples and their untold stories. Like, share, and subscribe to join us in uncovering more of the hidden histories that shape our world.